Everybody, my name's Jim Deedlow of AM 1230 WJOB and 104.7 FM. We are located on the beautiful Purdue Commercialization Center right here on the Purdue Northwest campus here in Hammond, Indiana. And as you guys well know, every other Wednesday during the summer, we're doing 1 million cups. It's part of one of my Jed and the Money segments. I do a bunch of these with local businesses, and you can go anytime to our Facebook feed and type in Jed and the Money. You'll get a bunch of this. This one's 1 million cups. It's a partnership with the Kauffman Foundation. People are drinking these cups of coffee all over America, and they're learning about businesses in forums just like this. We have ours. We have a live studio audience. We're live on the radio, AM 1230. We're live on 104.7. We're live on the TuneIn app, and we're also on Facebook and Twitter. So this is consumed in a lot of different ways. I have a specific request to anybody listening on the radio today. We want one phone call today. We just want to be able to make sure that we can bring that in technologically and get that done. Got a couple of announcements here. We're building an entrepreneurial community here, and part of that is you need caffeine. We are caffeinated here at 1 Million Cups by Coffee Cabin, and that is on US 30. If you're ever in the area, make sure you go in there and tell them thank you for sponsoring the 1 Million Cups all of this time that we've been doing it. Also, I've got a special thing here today that I want to bring out to everybody. Thanks, Mark. You're doing a great job. I've got some chocolate chip cookies from Nana's. Give me the website again. Nana'sSweetsBakery.com. You can also email Nana there. And we are going to do the very first test. I have been bugging her. As a matter of fact, haranguing might be is a better word, that I want some gluten-free cookies. And this is the first bite of a chocolate chip gluten-free cookie, and here it is. It's amazing. I haven't tasted it yet, but it's amazing yet. It's amazing. There it is. We're a live studio audience. One of our charters here is to, on the radio station at Purdue and with 1 Million Cups and the commercialization centers, want to make sure that we do some good in the community. And so once a month, we ask an innovative local charity, 501c3, to come in and present their stuff. I know this woman well, I know this man well, and I know their son Eric well. He is he drives around really slowly if you ever get behind him, but he has been able to deal with his challenges through life. Marianne and Mark have been very active, and they're going to tell you about one of the most innovative charities around. That is Planting Possibilities. In 2011, she and her husband Mark incorporated Planting Possibilities with the vision of building a greenhouse to employ and job train adults with autism and other developmental disabilities. There's a whole bunch of other stuff here, but basically there's a gap, folks. You go to school, the kids come out of school. At some point there's a gap where adults with disabilities kind of fall through it. Mark and Marianne have been trying to fill that gap. They are very innovative with what they do. Let's hear it from Marianne Niner.
Good morning. Planting Possibilities is a 501c3 chartered in Lake County, Indiana. Our mission, as Jed said, is to employ, offer job training and offer meaningful volunteer or opportunities to adults with autism and other developmental disabilities here in Lake County. We were incorporated in 2011. In the 5 years after that, our 5-year business plan was to have a program up and running in 3 years, to have property in 5 years. We had a program up and running in 2 years, and we're in fact able to start our search for property within our 5-year projection. Now, I'm going to tell you a little bit about our target population. Autism Society of America says that 1 in 68 children are now diagnosed as being on the autism spectrum. The CDC says that of our general population, almost 14% of the general population has some kind of developmental disability. Now, if we look at that in terms of Lake County, there's approximately 490,000 people in Lake County. If we take about 14% of those people are 68,000 people. Let's say 10% of those fall into our target population, 6,800. Let's say 5%. That's still a big number right here in Lake County that needs services. Other employment records say that in the first 10 years of this millennium, the number of individuals with autism seeking vocational services rose 8-fold. Okay? So there's a huge, huge demand for this kind of service. We want to fill some of that in Lake County. There's some organizations that have shelter-type workshops. What we want to serve is the individuals who can and want to be employed in the community with their typical peers. There's a number of those folks out there. What we want to do is we have a vision to build a training center that includes a garden center, a greenhouse and hoop houses for growing, a retail center where our trainees can learn retail skills, they can learn office skills, or what it takes to run a business. We propose to have an event space as a conservatory where we can have events. Our building here will have a commercial kitchen where our trainees can learn culinary skills and hospitality skills. We want to grow a botanical garden that would be a living monument to what our population can do. For those who don't drive, we could have living quarters in the back. So this is one of the versions of our vision. Okay. Now you might wonder, what's this have to do with you? We're a nonprofit. There'll be no monetary return for your investment. But you know what? Sometimes it's just not about the money. What are we looking for? We're looking for a corporate partner who will make a substantial investment in our development and growth, something in the 5 to 6 figure range. Perhaps this is a company whose employee needs match our training, what we train our folks in. Their return, again, won't be able to be measured on any ROE formula. Their legacy will be being connected with the innovative initiative right here in Lake County that truly improves people's lives. Their return will be the knowledge that their time, their wealth, and their talents will be invested in a truly meaningful endeavor. Whoops. We're looking for ongoing corporate or private partners. These would be local companies who would act as sponsors. We're talking in the 4 to 5 figure range, who would be sponsors for our events, whose names would be closely associated with our facility and our organization. For example, when our facility there, perhaps a major donor would have naming rights. For example, the conservatory would be the Charles and Helen Pullen Memorial Conservatory. We might have the Rockapelli Rock Garden. We might have the Father Matt Kish Koi Pond, things like that. We need local people, businesses who want to employ, who see the value in employing people with disabilities. Companies will let us come in and train their employees in their places of business to suit their needs, or who will hire people that we have trained in our facility who have worked in real-life situations. We're looking for local people who are willing to market our community and awareness. We're looking for your time and talents. We're looking for someone who has good ideas and who can make those ideas come to life. We will need to market our vegetables and our flowers. We'll need to attract businesses and individuals to use our event center so our trainees can work in a real-life work environment. We're looking for movers and shakers who will get other people to support us as well. Now, I challenge you as successful people. As successful people, we measure our success by how many people we employ, how much money we make, where we can afford to live, all that kind of stuff. But I challenge you to measure your success in a different way. I want to be able to sit on this little bench with you, and I want to be able to look at you, turn to you and say, I knew we could do this, because sometimes it's just not about the money. Thank you.
I'm talking into this lavalier microphone because Chuck Pullen has been a long time part of the station, and he just texted me to move that away from the jewelry. So we learned another one there. Hey, you guys that are listening on the radio and watching on live streaming video, this is Marianne Niner. This has kind of been a life work for the couple up here. Their son, Eric Niner, is just a really cool person that has been he's faced some challenges in his life, and he's overcome many of them, as have many of the people that work with the tomatoes and the water and the melons and all of the things that they plant. Can you give us just a little bit more background on how the actual agricultural affects a kid with autism or an adult with autism?
Well, the reason we picked a horticultural approach to it is because you can actually see the results of your work. There's a concrete product that you can come up with. And so that kind of, gives them the idea that, oh, gee, if I work long enough, I come up with something. Now, in life, a lot of times what our work is kind of a not a visible effect. But so that's how we put that idea in their heads, that if you work on something long enough, you have something to show and you can be proud of.
And I've seen the effects of those works. Every year they drop a big load of tomatoes on my front door, and we use them for a good portion of the fall. Yeah. And I've also seen some of the kids when they're so excited when they're selling you the mums. I mean, there's a true pride aspect of it. If you guys notice, this is a huge visionary project. If you're on the radio, you didn't get to see it, but the folks here in the live audience at WJOB and also the ones that are watching it on Facebook Live are like, wow, look at the size of that complex. It has living quarters, it has farmland basically, and then it has greenhouses. I mean, it has parking spaces. I mean, it looks like a college campus. I mean, that's really kind of what you're looking at, right? Well,
yeah, and now this is one version of our vision. In the meantime, this might not be a big brick building. It might look like a big red barn. And our living quarters in the back might be little white cottages instead of a big, this is, but the concept is all there, all those components.
Mark, you've been a part of this. Mark is more the, I guess, the guy who would be doing the actual planting and moving along with the young adults to put this together. Mark, just tell us about what you see when they're down there in the dirt and they're seeing the fruits of their labors.
Right, I'm executive director, but we run a program. We have a collaboration with Campagna Academy in Cherville, and to see the kids, I mean, we just planted some turnips this spring. Not the most exciting vegetable, but when they see a purple skin and under the leaves, and we cooked them up, we roasted them, we also turn them into food. Ultimately, that gets young boys interested in vegetables.
The food part is excellent. Brad Hemingway is going to come up here, too. If you guys could let Brad get through here. Anybody else have any questions? 219-845-1100. Or you guys can also walk up here to the microphone. Brad Hemingway also has a kid. Joe is an amazing young man. And you got to move over here just a little bit, Brad, so we can get in the camera. And he's an amazing young man. He's been associated with this for quite some time. What can you say about how it's affected Joe?
Joe's been affected greatly by participating in the community, also getting out and job opportunities that he's had. In fact, today we're going out to Elsop Nursery to work with them and him participating out there. So it's been a great opportunity for him.
Now it's hard to I know it's kind of hard to just comprehend this on the radio or even in a live audience, but there really is a true touching. It's an activity where they get their hands actually in the dirt and they get it to see all the way to eating it, and it's the finish of a product. Now you mentioned this about job opportunities. A lot of adults with autism, it's a little bit more difficult. How does this make him more employable?
Just the social factors that go into talking to people. That's some of the challenges that our population with autism face. Is the social aspect. He's been working through the schools all the way up through. In fact, this fall we're going to be working with Purdue Northwest and starting the Best Buddies chapter, where we're actually basically working with students with intellectual and developmental disabilities here in Lake County, pairing them with people at Purdue University, and basically building friendships. It's a great concept. It's been around since '89, and excited to bring it here to Purdue Northwest.
Thanks a lot, Brad. So as you guys know, go ahead. Don't trip on anything on your way over there. We'll get to. I pulled him out because I've known him for so long. You want to say something, Mark?
Brad is one of the founding board members with Planned Possibilities.
So you guys see the spirit here. Mont, if you want to just make your way over here. You see the spirit. What we're talking about is we're talking about innovation here on the Purdue Commercialization Center. We promo it. Obviously, you're in a studio here. We're about as innovative as any radio station in America. You got all of these different ideas that come through on the private business side. Charities have to innovate too. They have to have big ideas, and they have to come up with different ways. This is one of the leading edge folks. Planning Possibilities is a model for dealing with having people with developmental disabilities get out in the community. So that's one of the reasons that we wanted to bring them forth. Mont Handley is the executive director at the Purdue Commercialization Center. Assistant director. Associate director. There you go. There it is. Mont, what do you got?
Hey, so in full disclosure, I know Marianne and Mark and have really supported Planting Possibilities. I wanted to ask, though, I'm seeing the whole vision now and hearing you talk about it. To me, it looks like there's profit centers here or revenue streams, and I'm just wondering, do you have a plan for self-sustainability at some point?
Our master plan includes that. We've developed several different streams of income right now through funded programs that pay for people to learn job skills. We're participating in that from the state of Indiana, and we have different fundraisers. But our long-term goal, yes, part of our goal is to be as sustainable as we can. That's why we want a product, and that's why we want also the event space, so that we can create a funding stream.
So not just the actual selling of the vegetables and, well, mostly almost vegetables, but not only selling of that, but also a rental space.
Yes, yes. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So you guys see the vision there? Anybody got any questions? Any comments? Anyone? All right, I think that nobody has any? We want to, let's give it a little hand for Marianne and for Mike. All right, guys, those that are listening on the radio, on AM 1230 and 104.7, we're going to take a short break, and we'll be back with Kicks Media here in July of 2017. And those that are watching on Facebook and Twitter, we're just going to stop this one, and we will start up another instance of it. Those that are listening on the TuneIn app, it's basically the same as the radio. You're going to hear some music in a few spots as we reset up. So we'll be back in about 5 or 10 minutes. Thanks a lot.